The USS Gerald R. Ford isn't just a warship. It's a $13.3 billion superweapon, floating proof that the US still commands the sea. In May 2025, it didn't just show up near Taiwan. It fired real weapons in full-scale combat drills right on China's doorstep. That wasn't training. That was strategy. A calculated show of force meant to shake rivals and reassure allies. In a region where one wrong move could spark global conflict, this wasn't business as usual. This was a warning. But who was it really aimed at? Why now? And what happens next if someone fires back? Watch till the end, because this gets a lot deeper than it looks. Step inside this beast, and it feels like something out of the future. Instead of the old steam-powered catapults, Ford launches jets with electromagnetism EMALs. It's sleek, deadly, and efficient. Planes take off smoother, faster, and with less stress on their frames. That means more sorties per day, longer aircraft lifespans, and a carrier that stays mission-ready longer than anything before it. The arresting gear, upgraded to handle heavier planes with pinpoint precision. Radar systems, completely redesigned with dual-band technology that can track multiple threats, missiles, drones, stealth aircraft simultaneously. And the defensive suite, built to detect and neutralize incoming attacks before they get anywhere near striking range. From missile decoys to high-powered jammers, this ship fights threats long before they reach the hull. But what makes Ford even more dangerous is what it's preparing for. It's future-proofed. There's space and infrastructure for direct energy weapons, laser turrets, electromagnetic defenses, and AI-coordinated drones. This isn't just a floating airport, it's a modular living system built to evolve with each threat. And capacity? That's where Ford dwarfs its rivals. This carrier supports more than 75 aircraft fighters, helicopters, surveillance planes, all moving across a deck designed for non-stop operation. From flight to fueling to maintenance, every inch of Ford is optimized to keep jets in the air and weapons in the fight. It's a war machine, fine-tuned and ready for 21st century warfare. The timing and location of Ford's move into the Pacific couldn't be more telling. This wasn't just a routine rotation. The South China Sea is boiling. Taiwan sits on a razor's edge. And North Korea, still launching missiles like warnings scribbled in smoke. So what does the US Navy do? It answers the tension with power and sends in its biggest gun. But Ford wasn't quietly slipped into the region. Its arrival was calculated, deliberate, and loud, flanked by a full strike group destroyers, submarines, cruisers, electronic warfare planes, surveillance drones. It cut through contested waters like it belonged there. Because that's the point. It's not just about showing up. It's about owning the space the moment you enter. This was more than deterrence. It was a statement, not just to China, but to the world. A reminder that America's presence in the Indo-Pacific isn't optional. It's strategic, permanent, and backed by unmatched firepower. And when you look at where Ford is positioned, it's no accident. It sits within rapid strike distance of every major flashpoint, from disputed reefs and artificial islands to Taiwan's coastline and the Korean peninsula. That proximity changes everything. It gives the US rapid reaction capability within hours, not days, hours. That means fewer delays, fewer decisions made in panic, and far more control over any confrontation that might erupt. The Ford didn't just cruise into the Pacific to flex its muscles, it came to train for war. And not alone. It's been at the center of some of the most intense military drills the region has seen in years. From Japan to Australia, it's leading joint operations that simulate real conflict hard, fast, and unpredictable. Take Balikatan 2025, one of the largest US-Philippines exercises in history. The Ford led from the front, coordinating strikes, launching aircraft in tight waves, and simulating all-out defense against a maritime invasion. Fighter jets launched in sequence, precision strikes landed within meters of targets, and unmanned drones patrolled deep beyond the horizon. On the seafloor, sonar arrays hunted for enemy subs, while Marines drilled on island seizure tactics. But this wasn't just training for the US, it was a masterclass in coalition warfare. Crews from Japan and Australia worked in lockstep with American pilots and sailors. Communications were tested, logistics were pushed, and the entire region watched as Allied forces rehearsed for the unthinkable together. And right at the center of it all was Ford. Its systems ran clean, its aircraft cycled non-stop, its sailors executed drills like clockwork, Every pass, every launch, every mission flawless. No breakdowns, no delays, and that matters. Because reliability in combat isn't just a luxury, it's survival. Even without firing a shot in battle, the Ford proved its value. It sent a clear message to every observer, friendly or otherwise. This carrier doesn't just survive pressure, it thrives in it. China didn't stay quiet. The moment Ford entered the region, Beijing ramped up its own naval operations. It dispatched the Shandong and Fujian carriers for live-fire drills in the East China Sea. Warships shadowed U.S. movements. Fighter jets buzzed over disputed islands. State media called the U.S. deployment a provocation. Analysts on Chinese television warned of unpredictable consequences if the U.S. continues to interfere. And in response, China deployed missiles and surveillance drones to key outposts on artificial islands. This is more than posturing. It's a high-stakes power game, and the Pacific is the board. Ford is America's edge in that game, but that edge won't last unless it keeps sharpening. China's Navy is now the largest in the world by number of ships. But size isn't everything. Ford is about capability. Its systems are decades ahead of most of what China currently sails. Still, the U.S. knows it can't coast. That's why the Navy is investing heavily in tech integrating unmanned ships into carrier groups, experimenting with AI battle management, and preparing for electromagnetic warfare. It's no longer just about missiles and planes. The next conflict could be won by whoever controls the electromagnetic spectrum and battlefield information. Ford was built for that future, and it's already operating like it. But even the most powerful carrier isn't enough on its own. That's why the U.S. is doubling down on alliances. The Ford doesn't just operate with American forces. It trains alongside Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force, Australia's Navy, and the Philippine military. In recent joint patrols, these navies simulated coordinated responses to island invasions, cyber attacks, and maritime blockades. And behind the scenes, there's deep intelligence sharing, logistical planning, and unified command rehearsals. Together, they're building a wall of deterrence across the Pacific, one that no adversary can easily push through. The world is watching this floating titan, but behind the curtain, even more powerful tools are being prepared. The Navy is already working on next-gen carriers, lighter support vessels, and drone fleets that can swarm enemy defenses. It's the sharpest sword in the U.S. arsenal, slicing through uncertainty with every mission it runs. As global power shifts and rivalries heat up, this carrier is more than steel and firepower. It's America's insurance policy against chaos. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like the video, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and share it with someone who loves military tech. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss what comes next, because the next chapter could be even more explosive.